delving into the enigmatic mysteries of existence beyond our grasp. If these chronicles enrapture your senses, consider joining our community by subscribing and ringing the bell icon for timely updates. Now settle in, indulge in a refreshing libation, find your coziest spot, and prepare to immerse yourself in the captivating saga awaiting exploration today. The journey of a child, marked by a leg-cutting accident, propelled him into a realm where time seemed to warp, hurtling through his existence at a dizzying speed. Amid the ambulance's urgent wail, an extraordinary occurrence transpired. A fleeting glimpse of his entire life played out in mere moments, every intricate detail whizzing by in a whirlwind. The intensity of the experience etched deep emotions. Thoughts of cherished ones flooded in, intermingled with remorse for any past unkindness he'd shown. Amid the imminent threat of mortality, a surge of despair gripped him, beseeching an enigmatic deity how one could face the void without a trove of joyous memories. His childhood bore the weight of bleak recollections, scars etched by a tumultuous upbringing he was eager to sidestep. In the labyrinth of an uncherished existence, anger simmered within for the absence of a single luminous moment in his memory's canvas. The hospital's arrival ushered in a disquieting chapter, a relentless 4-hour vigil in the emergency's maw, the crimson hue of bleeding persisting throughout. Urgency peaked when his father alerted a nurse to the direness of his condition, a dislocated kneecap ominously signaling the need for immediate surgical intervention. The corridors echoed with hurried steps as X-rays punctuated the urgency, whisking him into the operating theatre's sterile embrace. The veil of gas anesthesia draped over him, a gateway to unconsciousness he yearned for, haunted by familial traumas. Alas, a disquieting consciousness persisted, the fear of a ghastly awakening mid-surgery clawing at him, an internal outcry denied by his inert form, an incessant refrain of wakefulness in a hushed plea. An abrupt weightlessness enveloped him, oscillating betwixt the ceiling and the ground amidst a piercing cacophony, a discordant symphony of discomfort. Yearning to flee this unsettling state, his pleas for escape reverberated. In an instant, a plunge into an abyssal void ensued, an engulfing darkness swallowing him whole. A gnawing terror of the unknown enveloped him, a pervasive absence of corporeality exacerbating the fear. Adrift in the Stygian expanse, a frantic search for illumination commenced, the spectre of paternal concern looming large amidst the bleak obsidian. The longing to break free from this Stygian shroud persisted, a disquiet gnawing at him, the pall of paternal apprehension hanging heavy amidst the void's ebony canvas. Suddenly, a faint glimmer pierced the darkness, igniting dormant memories of past torment. Yet this luminescent iridescence, akin to magic, beckoned him forth, a tidal wave of affection and warmth washing over. Hesitation lingered, dissipating eventually as he dared to reach out, a sensation ineffably sublime greeting his touch. Stepping into the effulgent embrace felt akin to a tender, comforting caress, a fear ingrained, lest this splendor vanish into the ether. He yielded to the luminosity, lowering his defenses and surrendering to this singular euphoria. A jubilant waltz ensued, tinged with an inexplicable bliss, his gaze drawn to his form, an inexplicable opacity enveloping his lower self. Then a duo of radiant, humanoid silhouettes materialized, yet discerning their features remained an elusive pursuit, even after fervent attempts to clear his vision. Their gestures spoke volumes, intimating his father's presence, awaiting at the light's terminus. He sought their companionship due to his impaired vision following the accident. With cautious steps, they ventured towards the faintly lit path, uncertain of the upcoming terrain. Upon reaching it, he inquired about the unknown realm lying beyond. Their response prompted him to step forth and explore. Despite apprehensions about losing the comforting embrace of affection and warmth, he placed his trust in the two luminous entities. Transitioning through what felt akin to a threshold, he confronted an overwhelming brilliance, blinding yet not agonizing, obscuring his vision of what lay beyond. As he traversed this boundary, he perceived the encounter from three distinct viewpoints, ascending into an expansive, cloud-like realm, eventually arriving in a realm of luminescence. All around, the scenery glistened akin to precious diamonds, while every living entity emitted an ethereal glow. The vegetation, trees, flora, and blooms appeared immaculate, devoid of any withered leaves or branches. Enraptured by the captivating allure, he sauntered through this breathtaking vista. At a divergence, his attention was drawn to an extraordinary crystalline structure on the left, seemingly merging seamlessly with the ground at an unconventional angle. Adorned with 12 transparent crystal walls, each inscribed with names in varied hues of English, though their specifics eluded his memory. A compulsion to memorize them arose, captivating his attention for a considerable duration. Upon noticing the approach of two women, a faint unease about conversing with strangers prompted him to seek refuge behind a nearby tree. Unexpectedly, he found himself inexplicably slipping into the tree, exhilarated by the thought, "I always believed I possessed this ability." Concealed within the vibrant hues of the tree, akin to his own, he observed the women passing by, seemingly oblivious to his presence. Embracing his childhood passion for gymnastics, he executed flawless maneuvers, an achievement previously beyond his grasp. Entering what resembled an office or chamber, he stood captivated by the awe-inspiring view of Earth. A mischievous male voice quizzed whether he intended to confine himself within the tree indefinitely. Chuckling in response, he expressed uncertainty about venturing elsewhere. The voice assured him that this realm was his abode, offering the freedom to roam at will. Taken aback, he sought confirmation, and the voice affirmed his newfound liberty. Amidst his rhythmic gymnastics routines by the cerulean waters, a towering transparent barrier encasing Earth caught his attention. Immersed in his dance, he afforded scant attention to it. Unlike the typical obscurity of outer space, this region surrounding Earth represented a rare instance of darkness above. Peering out at Earth through the translucent enclosure, he contemplated his life's trials and tribulations, the adversity he endured, frequently pondering why divine protection had eluded him amidst anguish and feeling estranged, unloved, and unwanted in the world at large. As he delved into his customary musings, an unusual sensation gripped him. Instead of the familiar internal monologue, a soothing, flawlessly pitched male voice responded to his inquiries. Posing the query, "Why doesn't God shield me?" evoked a response from the voice, assuring him he will, liberating his concerns like shedding a heavy burden. In his quest to fathom why God wouldn't intercede for him, citing his transient tribulations and professed innocence, the resolute voice staunchly trusted him, imparting profound solace. Gazing upon the vastness and vibrant hues of Earth, he yearned for beauty, to which the voice promptly affirmed, "You are," elucidating that his authentic form differed, inundating him with elation at being perceived as beautiful by someone. Reflecting on these words, he was grateful that his genuine essence exceeded his expectations. When he aspired to sing with prowess, the validating voice echoed his aspiration. Despite aiming for flawlessness and grappling with past errors, his aspiration to embody goodness incessantly haunted him, fearing divine wrath. Yet, the voice unequivocally reassured him of God's unwavering affection. Coveting a semblance of uniqueness akin to the biblical figures, the voice sanctioned it, evoking emotions in him that were ineffable, suffused with love and bliss. Expressing a yearning to be united with God, the voice promised its realization. As he turned, an unparalleled sight beheld him, the divine presence of the most resplendent man, exuding boundless love. In an embrace, they shared an ineffable connection, prompting his query about eternal slumber's end. With a gentle chuckle, God negated the notion. God affirmed an eternity in his presence, elucidating this as his veritable abode. Contrary to the Jehovah's Witnesses' doctrine, positing a perpetual slumber post-mortem until divine arousal, God offered options: stay or return to earth. Wrestling with a sense of purpose on earth, he sought clarity on what lay beyond. God's reply, love and revel, prompted his query if that was all. With a benevolent smile, God confirmed his universal love and allayed his doubts about being cherished, asserting, I love you. Overwhelmed, he reciprocated, you do. In an intimate embrace, hands clasped close to their hearts, an eternal bond transpired. Pondering the prospects that awaited him on earth, he inquired, and God unveiled special forthcoming gifts in this lifetime. God revealed a depth of adoration from animals, surprising him with the notion of their capacity for affection. God unveiled a glimpse of his future existence on earth on a translucent screen, a life abundant with mirth and contentment. This vision starkly contrasted his prior wretched earthly existence, fraught with abuse and a sense of exclusion from heavenly realms. His spirit perennially burdened, devoid of joyous recollections, now yearned to embrace the felicity envisioned before him. He had envisioned a life where marriage brought profound gratitude, a fervent desire to share boundless love, and a purpose leading others to God. Yet his return was uncertain, overshadowed by the spectre of an abusive home. Glancing back at earth, he harbored both hope and fear, yearning for God's presence, yet daunted by self-doubt that anticipated rejection. Still, compelled by an unspoken need, he summoned the courage to invite God along, expecting refusal, but unable to bear the thought of abandonment. To his surprise, God continued smiling, unwavering, and consented to accompany him. His belief in divine protection and vindication against familial harm fueled his request. The person before him, in his eyes, exuded unparalleled beauty. Gaining resolve, he proposed their joint journey, and astoundingly, they concurred instantly, their hands entwined in a rush of affection, flooding him with overwhelming love. Later, another figure, equally striking, approached, presenting God with a scroll to endorse. The memory of this moment remains an enduring reservoir of joy and affection. Observing a figure behind God, radiating warmth through a gentle smile before departing, he understood God's intent for a special revelation. They traversed stunning vistas, arriving eventually at a resplendent abode by a reflective pond. God designated it as his home, evoking sheer delight and an inexplicable connection. Gazing upon the pond's reflection, he entertained thoughts of lingering in this captivating realm. Beside the pond, he sat with God, sharing an unspoken bond and a moment of tranquility. The perfect residence bestowed upon him a sense of belonging that he cherished deeply. Yet, before departure, God had another revelation to unveil. Hand in hand, their anticipation in tandem, they ventured into a chamber. A vast, smiling congregation greeted him, too numerous to quantify. A colleague, bearing a scroll, conveyed, "They all cherish you," to which he responded, "Indeed." Each being emitted celestial hues, emanating love and radiance, communicating pride and affection through ethereal thoughts, leaving him longing for more moments with each. His connection with all was profound, regretting fleeting interactions with two caring women. A light-hearted comment about spending time in a tree elicited laughter from the crowd, including God. This enchantment etched an indelible mark upon his soul, though farewells beckoned. He and God parted ways with the assembly. An unusual task awaited before their return, merging their perspectives as if he gazed through both God's eyes and his own, bidding farewell to the celestial gathering on their journey back to earth. The voyage was swift, traversing vast expanses in seemingly fleeting moments. A burst of light marked their re-entry into space, granting an expanded cosmic awareness. Boundaries dissolved amid celestial bodies. Pausing above Earth, he reluctantly bade adieu to this paradise, surrendering to the pull of his physical form and the mundane world. Throughout this odyssey, a reassuring presence accompanied him. God elucidated that his body required breath, not he himself. Sensing a gentle, invigorating breeze permeating his being, a stark contrast to the sweltering Florida heat that aggravated his skin ailment, he yearned for an earthly immersion in water. Dashing through the skies with an astonishing velocity, akin to an exhilarating roller coaster ride, albeit surpassing its thrill, they traversed. There existed no trepidation of heights or plummeting, merely an indelible sensation. Plummeting towards the water, their descent caused a splash, parting the aqueous expanse akin to a miniature replication of the Red Sea. Despite evading moisture, a tinge of disappointment seized him. However, reassurance ensued from a divine source, affirming, "It's your body that becomes wet, not your essence." Skimming across the water's surface, laughter enveloped their journey back to the hospital. Just prior to reuniting with his corporeal form, he cast a final glance around. His body appeared repugnant, ponderous, soiled, overheated, and perspiring. No emotional tether bound him to it. Instead, repulsion welled up within. An inquiry emerged. "Where do I belong?" Directed towards his body, and effortlessly, he merged back into it. Penetrating through the sternum, he encountered an unfamiliarity within the body. Hollowness encapsulated its interior, while density defined its external structure. As re-entry unfolded, a brief exploration of his extremities ensued, accompanied by auditory cues of individuals attempting to rouse him. Yet he remained unresponsive. Divine reassurance arrived, promising a swift reconnection. Maintaining silence until the plea for a breath freshener emerged, met with the restriction of solely permitting ice chips. Within the hospital chamber, his father lingered, patiently awaiting, yet the reunion with the divine eluded him. Nearly a year's duration transpired to reacquaint with ambulation, an episode eternally altering his existence, endowing him with gratitude for the affection perceived from a divine entity. This concludes today's narrative. As always, your thoughts are welcomed in the comments below. Until the next tale,